What up, y'all? It's Black Coffee and Tea. So, I know y'all already heard about this Dominican Republic nightmare. What the hell is going on? All right, the 10th woman to die in connection to the Dominican Republic announced today. A Louisiana woman died less than a week after she was celebrating her honeymoon with her husband in the Dominican Republic. The couple's name is Susan and Keith. All right, Susan Samo. Okay, they've been together for nearly a decade. They went to Punta Cana. All right, and they were just married on May 11th. But things, however, took a turn for the worse when the two returned from their trip. Susan was almost immediately rushed to the hospital with fluid in her lungs. I would have never went if I knew, Keith said. So Susan is one of at least 10 Americans who have fallen ill on the Caribbean island and subsequently died. All right. Although a family member told the station that Susan's doctors are not sure whether her trip to the Dominican Republic has anything to do with her death at all. And honestly, y'all, that's the scariest part to me. You know, the fact that these people are apparently dying of quote unquote natural causes, yet I'm not seeing any, scientific evidence to back that up. You know, the Dominican Republic, for the most part, has been holding out on releasing autopsy reports. There were several other couples or people in general that have died after or while in the Dominican Republic. Some of those other victims' names include deceased Ohio resident Jerry Curran, California resident Robert Turlock, Pennsylvania psychotherapist Miranda Shop Warner, Maryland couple Edward Nathaniel Holmes and Cynthia Day, and New York resident Layla Cox. Most recently, as of I think yesterday or 2 days ago, New Jersey resident Joseph Allen was found dead in his hotel room. Okay. So from Joseph's death, that's when I started noticing the bootleg alcohol theories. So one of the major theories of the cause of these mysterious deaths are that these resorts within the Dominican Republic are intentionally serving poisoned, aka bootleg liquor to their tourists, you know. And if you search bootleg liquor Dominican, Caribbean, you will find videos of alleged Dominicans or people who are visiting who are like stirring liquor, and the liquor starts to solidify in their cup. So basically they're implying there's some type of chemical in the liquor that they're giving to people overseas in the Dominican. So I'm not sure if these claims are valid, but there are a lot of theories out there. Okay, bootleg liquor is by far the most popular theory. Now if you want to get real conspiracy theory, people are also talking about organ stealing. All right, people have been claiming that some of these victims most likely have been put into the underground organ market. Now that's hard to say because a lot of these victims actually died once they got back into the States. So the organ theory is kind of hard to hold up when you think about all of the victims that actually made it back over to America. Okay, but still could be a possibility. That theory actually scares the shit out of me. But the very first couple that was found, Orlando Moore and Portia Ravenel. Now that couple, they were different than the rest. Okay, they were actually missing for a few days before their bodies were allegedly found on the side of the road, and their car was found crashed. So they're claiming that the victims were intoxicated and they ran off the side of the road. They said that the woman, Portia, she actually survived the initial crash and being out in the car for a few days, I assume. She was put on life support at the hospital, and they said she died at the hospital, which is very odd because they didn't find them for so many days. It's just unbelievable that she would survive with no treatment for all those days missing, but then when she gets to the hospital, she dies. I think that's just odd, but I'm no doctor. Also, what's odd is that, I don't believe the family has even gotten the body. I think they were trying to get her body back. I think they said they needed to get cremated. It would be easier and all this stuff. It's just like, it's so hard to actually know what happened to your family member when they're all the way overseas. So, another thing with this couple, they were befriended by an older white couple, and the pictures in that were shown, they just seemed odd. Okay, this couple that they met, they seem to have gotten very, very close, very, very friendly with this couple, and they just seem like they come from completely two different worlds. This older white couple knew a lot about Orlando and Portia. They knew that they had rented a car. They knew that they had, at least an hour or so to drive towards the airport, and they knew when they were leaving, and so on and so forth. So in these situations, everyone's a suspect, and I do hope the police at least question them in a responsible manner. But then again, this was in the Dominican Republic. Like, it's an iffy gray type of scenario. Like, who actually has the jurisdiction to go in there and interrogate these people? It's just a terrible, terrible situation. My heart goes out to these families. These theories are wild. The only other theory I heard is something that has to do with China, and China basically, they have this treaty type of situation with Dominican Republic that the U.S. was not happy about, and China was upset with the U.S. with their involvement with the Dominican Republic, and something of that nature, something very, very political. It's a conspiracy theory that is floating around YouTube, so feel free to research that if you like. I'm sure I'm not giving all the information correctly on that one, but y'all, I just want to know, what do you think about Dominican Republic right now? If you're from the Dominican Republic, I would love to know what's going on there. I know that Dominican Republic travel advisory is at a level 2, and it's been like that since early April of this year. So I know people are urging that, they increase the advisory level. It can only go up to a 4. So I would like to know, how is the country operating right now? So if you live in Dominican Republic, let me know. Just reading Instagram comments, a lot of people from the Dominican Republic are super irritated and just upset how their country is being represented right now and portrayed by the media. So they're claiming that this is more so propaganda, which would really tie into the Chinese conspiracy theory, that the Chinese really have something to do with this whole thing on a political front. All right, something about tourism and imperialism and all types of shit. So y'all go do your research. Let me know what you think. Please comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget to tune into our podcast, the Black Coffee and Tea podcast, available on all streaming networks. And then follow us on Instagram at BCT Podcast. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.